Wednesday. So you know what that means. It's time for some What's Up? No, just kidding. So hopefully everything's working and everything is streaming properly. So if you're tuning in with us this morning, just go ahead and drop something in the chat. Drop a hi, drop a wave, drop a something, just to let us know that you're there and tuning in with us today. So I just realized I've got like 11% battery left, and that means it's going to go great. So hopefully. Hi, Polly. How's it going? You can see/hear outstanding in a field or in the church building. So anyway, there's something wrong with me. It's fine. So here we are. I started to almost count how many weeks we've been doing this, basically since the middle of March. Good morning, Bonnie. Happy Wednesday. That's right. We've pretty much been doing this since the beginning of March. Isn't that crazy? Or the middle of March. And it's just insane that here we are almost at the end of September. Like we're just crossed over the middle of September now. And things are still here. And honestly, it's not just about things being where they are. It's just, it's been cool every week to just kind of share whatever's been on my heart and just kind of like connect with you guys and do some stuff all the time. So before I get into my thought, which is going to be from Colossians chapter 3 this morning, I'm going to grab my power cord real quick and plug my laptop in. So if you'll give me like 10 seconds to do that, that would be awesome. Because we don't have a power strip. Man, that makes it even cooler. Okay, I'm back. And powered on. See, I was just giving people the chance to connect with us. That's all. Anyway, all right. So Colossians chapter 3 is the thought that I want to share with you today. And then I've got some just announcement, normal routine stuff to just share, just to make sure everybody knows about. So, first of all, Colossians chapter 3 is an amazing book. Chapter 3 is an amazing chapter. Colossians are a really good book. And so I was going to actually share about Ecclesiastes because that's what we've been reading in our soap reading. But I really felt like this morning, I wanted to share this thought from Colossians chapter 3 with you. So I'm just going to read a couple different pieces of it, but I'm going to focus in on verse 15. So Colossians chapter 3, verse 1 says, "Since you have been raised to new life with Christ, set your sights on the realities of heaven where Christ sits in the place of honor at God's right hand. Think about the things of heaven, not the things of earth. For you died to this life, and your real life is hidden with Christ in God. And when Christ, who is your life, is revealed to the whole world, you will share in all his glory." So he goes on to talk about putting to death the sinful earthly things that are inside of you, putting on the new nature as you learn to know God, and clothing yourself with mercy and kindness and humility and gentleness. In verse 13, he then says this: "Make allowance for each other's faults and forgive anyone who offends you." I'll just let that settle in for just a second. In our awesomely amazing culture that is all about just offense right now and being offended, let's just remember that we're supposed to make allowance for each other's faults and forgive others and forgive anyone who offends us. So he says, "Remember, the Lord forgave you, so you must forgive others. Above all, clothe yourselves with love, which binds us all together in perfect harmony." Verse 15, "And let the peace that comes from Christ rule in your hearts. For as members of one body, you are called to live in peace and always be thankful. So let the message about Christ in all its richness fill your lives. Teach and counsel each other with all the wisdom he gives. Sing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs to God with thankful hearts. And whatever you do or say, do it as a representative of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks through him to God the Father." So, Colossians is a great book. There's a lot to unpack in this chapter. But I wanted to focus specifically on verse 15 when he says, again, "Let the peace that comes from Christ rule in your hearts." For as members of one body, you are called to live in peace and always be thankful. And so I was meeting with one of our denominational leaders yesterday, and we were just talking and chatting, and he was talking about the peace of Christ. He was actually talking about this particular verse, and he said, there are two. He didn't say all of this, but as based on our conversation, and then also as I kind of did my own little digging and kind of searching, here's what I found. The peace that is the Greek word for peace that's being used in that passage is like it's a peace that it's a restful peace. It's a very, like, it was almost like the term used for like a farewell as people were kind of departing company. It was about just wanting the general health and well-being of peace to rest upon you, to rest upon people and relationships. Like it was a relational dynamic. It was a word used for that rest and that peace that comes, the kind of quietness. It's kind of like a peace of mind that's there, and it's about having a wholeness, like a peace that comes just from wholeness and knowing that everything is together. And so it says, let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. And this is the cool thing that I learned yesterday, that word for rule in your heart, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but it literally means, the definition means to act as an umpire. Like to act as an umpire, like meaning that when it is, basically as an umpire rules in a game and he makes the call based on what he sees going on, like that rule, whatever the umpire says goes, right? And so there's a couple different pieces about that. Obviously, like in baseball, it's kind of interesting that in baseball is the only situation that I'm aware of where an umpire is used. Like other games have referees and stuff like that, but I don't, and I could be wrong because I don't know a whole lot about sports, but I do know that baseball uses an umpire. So there are two things that I know about an umpire. Like I said, whatever the umpire says goes, right? Like if he makes a call and says that somebody's out, says that somebody's safe, says that something's a foul, like says that something's a strike, it doesn't matter. The umpire has spoken, and he had, like, his word rules across the board, right? And the other thing that's interesting too is that when sometimes an umpire will make a call that a player or a coach does not like, and that player, or typically it's the coach, honestly, that gets up in the umpire's face, right? And they're like yelling and screaming and just like going crazy and going to town. But that entire time, does the umpire engage in that conflict? I've never seen an umpire like engage and get angry back and get hostile and get like, and just like go crazy like the coaches or the players do. No, the umpire stays completely calm, completely centered, completely just at peace, because the umpire knows his word is the ruling authority. And it doesn't matter what somebody else says. It doesn't matter what somebody else feels. It doesn't matter what other people may interpret the situation to be. The umpire knows I can be at peace because what I say goes. And it's not to say that we need to all walk around as umpires and make up our own rules. That's not what I'm saying. But the Apostle Paul here in Colossians is saying that we need to trust in God's peace. Let the peace of Christ rule as an umpire in your hearts. And it was just this cool kind of reminder that, and as I was even chatting in this conversation yesterday, my friend said that, it's about wherever the peace of God is, we let the peace of God rule, and so we follow the peace of God. And so whatever has the peace of God, in maybe there's a situation in your life that you're not sure about. Maybe there's something that you're trying to shift. Maybe there's a decision that you feel like you've got to make. Maybe you're just uncertain about what's going on and you don't know where you're finding stability. Maybe there's just something that is kind of shaking your world right now and giving you a lot of anxiety or a lot of worry or a lot of fear. maybe it feels like peace is nowhere to be found. But can I tell you, peace is something that isn't found in our circumstances or in our situations. Peace is something that rules in our hearts. And when we're not forced, but when we're trying to make a decision, when we're trying to figure something out, when we're trying to sort between situations, when we're trying to find our center, when we're trying to operate and function and make decisions and live our lives from a wholeness-centered place of peace, we need to let the peace of Christ rule in our hearts. So it's about, where do we see his peace? What direction? What decision? What environment? What situation? What scenario? And not even about the situation or scenarios, but where do we allow his peace to rule in our hearts? Because when his peace rules, it's the final word. And we're going to abide by and listen and follow the guidance of the peace of Christ. And so I hope that encouraged you today. I hope that just kind of made sense. It was a really cool thought that I had never seen it from that aspect or from that perspective before. And to me, it was really neat to realize, like, man, when we're talking about the peace of Christ ruling and reigning in our lives, it's like the word of an umpire. And so when you feel like you're torn between something, when you feel like you're not sure what to do, when you feel like you're not sure what's going on, let his peace rule. Let his peace give the final word, and let it give you peace. Let his peace give you peace and rest and wholeness, knowing that maybe where God's leading you, or what he's doing in you, or what he's speaking through you, or what he is doing around you, go in the direction of his peace. Follow his peace. Don't follow your heart necessarily. Like, sometimes you got to, and I understand that, but like, if you're following God's will, if you're following God's heart, if you're following something that God's doing, there's going to be peace. It's going to be his peace that comes from heaven, that rules. And so follow where that peace is. Don't act out of the confusion. Don't act out of the frustration. Don't act and respond, or not respond. Don't react out of the difficulty and the confusion and the lack of clarity. Find his peace, because where his peace is, there will be clarity. Even though that clarity doesn't mean it's going to be comfortable, it just means there will be clarity. And where his clarity is, that's where his peace is. And so make your decision, make your choice, make your response to a situation, your response to a decision, your response to what's going on, your response even to your heart. Let your response be made out of the clarity that comes from his peace. Because without his peace, we're all walking in uncertainty. We're all walking in craziness, but just follow his peace. Follow his peace, and his peace can be with you in the middle of a storm. His peace can be with you in the middle of difficulty. His peace can be with you in the middle of hardship, in the middle of uncertainty, in the middle of the entire world falling apart and shaking. You can still find his peace and let it rule in your hearts. So that was just a cool thought. Like I said, I hope that just kind of encouraged you today. So a couple of things that are just going on that I want to make sure everyone is aware of. All right. So this is some freedom announcement-y stuff. So the first one is this coming Sunday, Sunday, September the 27th. We're gonna be a part of a community type thing we're just basically kind of call it prayer at the park. And so what we're gonna do is there's several different churches just in Carroll County in the area that are just coming together. Several different people, just believers, just whoever, are just gonna come together at Deer Park. On Deer Park Road, at Deer Park. And I don't know exactly which field it'll be. It will probably be like the very first field as soon as you come in. So that's what we're kind of leaning towards at this point. But anyway, from 3:30 to 5 o'clock this coming Sunday, we invite you to come out and hang out with us as we just join together for prayer. We're just going to join together as God's people. And man, we're just going to pray together. We're just going to be encouraged. We're going to be socially distanced. We're going to be safe. We're going to do all those things. but we just want to pray together, and we want God's people to come together and pray. And so this is a really cool opportunity to just be a part of God's kingdom, be a part of what God is doing, and be a part of the capital C body of Christ, the capital C church that's in action. So we want to invite you to come out this coming Sunday at 3:30 to 5 at Deer Park, and it will probably be on that first field. So that's happening this coming Sunday. Also this coming Sunday, right now we're still planning on having our Sunday gathering outside in the parking lot. The weather's going to be nicer and warmer than it has been the last couple of weeks. And so it's going to be a great day to be outside and to just worship together. So we want to invite you to come to our outdoor in-person gathering this Sunday. Service will start at 10 o'clock. And so we want to encourage you to come, just be a part of that, be outside. We've got plenty of space so everyone can socially distance. Everyone can sit wherever you want to. We're going to be in the gravel lot. So make sure you get here early enough that you can park and get set up and get your seat. So make sure you bring a camping chair or a lawn chair. Make sure you bring a blanket if you do think it might be chilly. Bring a coffee, man. Just bring your family, and let's just kind of hang out together for service. We're going to continue. Actually, we're going to wrap up our Courageous series this week, and so that's going to be happening Sunday at 10. Good morning, Mama. How you doing? So that's happening this Sunday. And then, my phone is not opening. And so right now we're trying to continue to do our outside services, as our services outside, as long as the weather's still nice to us. But here's what we know. It looks like the next couple Sundays will still be sunny and not rainy. Next week may end up being chilling, but here's what we know for sure. By Sunday, October the 11th, we are officially coming back in the building. Fall will have completely turned at that point, and so we know that by the 11th, we definitely want to come back into the building. So go ahead and prepare now. Just kind of know it in your calendar, in your radar, that starting on Sunday, October the 11th, we're coming back in the building. And so what that means is that we're going to start needing now everyone to RSVP if you are coming to any one of our Sunday gatherings, even starting this week. We really need you to even do it starting this week. And so we've got, if you go to our Facebook page, not our Facebook page, if you go to our church website, which is www.thefreedlife.com. There's a spot where you can see information about our in-person gatherings, and there's a place on that where you can RSVP for this coming Sunday. Please let us know you're coming, and let us know how many people are coming with you. We need to start to get that into our routine, because as we come back into the building, we need to know who's coming and when you're coming, because we've only got a limited capacity. And right now we're probably going to go to 2 services. Just so you know, we're probably going to end up going to 2 services. And so if that ends up being the reality, which right now we're like 90% sure that's probably the direction we're going to go in, we need everyone to RSVP so we know who's coming to what service, how much space we have, and can help arrange details between chairs and spaces and all that kind of stuff. So right now our thought process is, when we have 2 services, that we're going to do an 8:45 service and a 10:30 service. Now some people may think, whoa, 8:45, are you kidding? That's super early. But we want to still get everybody out at a reasonable time. And in order to do that, we've got to make sure that we need time for cleaning in between and all of those things. So that's our game plan right now. So if we do service from 8:45 to 9:45-ish, if you hang around us, you know what I'm talking about. That still leaves us a little over 30 minutes to make sure we get everybody out of the building, things wiped down and sanitized, and give people time to get back into the building. So that then we can have a service at 10:30 and then go from 10:30 to about 11:30 and still get everybody out by 12. So that's our game plan. We know it's going to take a little bit of time, but that's just we just at least wanted to start giving you that information. But most importantly of all, we need you guys to start RSVPing just anytime we have service, so we can start to get an idea of what all that looks like. So, hey guys, that obviously there's a lot going on still. If you want just like a list of upcoming events and random things like that, there's always stuff happening. The first Saturday in October, we're having a men's breakfast and a fall work day. So if you want to come out for that, we'd love to have you. The second Saturday in October, the ladies always kind of get together on the second Saturday. And then on the last Sunday in October, this time, we're doing a bonfire night out in the church parking lot. Everybody just bring a fire pit, camping chairs, and we'll just hang out. So those are just some quick little things. But hey, guys, it's Wednesday. I hope you're having a great week. I hope you continue to have a great week. And so thank you for tuning in this morning. Thank you for tagging along with us throughout all these weeks. And I pray that you're encouraged today. And I pray that above all, you follow the advice and the encouragement from Colossians chapter 3, verse 15. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Let it rule, let it reign. Let it be that umpire, giving you direction, giving you clarity, and giving you peace. I love you guys. I'm praying for you. I hope you have a great week. I'll see you soon. God bless.